Welcome to The Explainer. What if an ancient religious prophecy wasn't actually about miracles at all, but about things like surveillance cameras and modern military alliances? Well, today we're diving into a really fascinating modern interpretation of an Islamic text that does exactly that. It connects ancient words to our 21st century world.
So where does this all come from? The prophecy we're looking at is from a hadith, which is a collection of the sayings and traditions of the Prophet Muhammad. In this specific text right here, this is the foundation for the entire modern take we're about to unpack. Now, at first glance, you read that and it sounds like a literal final battle, right? But the interpretation we're digging into today goes in a completely different direction. The whole argument is that to really get what the prophecy means, you have to look past the surface and start decoding its symbolic language. So how in the world do you decode a prophecy like this for today? Well, this particular analysis says we need to treat the whole thing like a giant metaphor. And it all starts by asking a very direct question about its most famous and maybe most shocking line. This is where the interpretation kicks off, by challenging the most obvious reading of the text. It basically asks, are we really meant to believe that one day trees and stones are just going to start talking? Or could something else, something more modern be going on here? And right here, this is the core idea. Instead of a supernatural miracle, this interpretation suggests the prophecy is actually a metaphor for two very powerful, very modern forces: advanced technology and an overwhelming global consensus.
So, what does speaking actually mean in this context? According to this view, it represents a world where just about everything is aligned in one direction. You've got public opinion, the media, global institutions, and then you have technology itself, things like GPS, sensor systems, all effectively speaking with one voice, revealing an enemy's location.
And this leads to the central claim of this whole interpretation. The prophecy doesn't actually need a miracle to come true. Instead, it could just be fulfilled by the natural evolution of technology and global politics. Trends that we can already see happening today.
But here's the twist. The prophecy has this one very strange exception. While all the other trees and stones will speak, one particular tree, the gharqad, will stay silent. So what is this tree, and what could it possibly represent in this modern take? Okay, first, the basics. The gharqad is a real plant. It's known for being super thorny, very dense, and it's often used as a kind of natural protective barrier or fence. It physically provides cover. Simple enough. Symbolically, though, this interpretation sees the tree as something way bigger. It's a metaphor for a unique kind of protective structure, one that provides cover even when the entire global environment, all those speaking trees and stones, has turned completely hostile.
And this is where the source text makes a very direct, very specific geopolitical claim. It identifies this symbolic gharqad tree with the modern military and security alliances provided by the United States, arguing that it's the one form of protection that remains silent and steadfast.
So if this interpretation is right, that the prophecy is really about technology and global alliances, it raises a huge question about timing. I mean, why would this final judgment be destined for our specific era of cameras, satellites, and international law?
Okay, let's really dive into this for a second. Why would a divine event, as it's described, be prophesied for an age where literally everything is documented, recorded, and judged by global standards? Wouldn't an earlier, simpler time, before all this, have made more sense?
Well, the analysis we're following offers a pretty fascinating answer. It puts forward 4 key reasons why this prophecy had to happen in the modern age for it to achieve its ultimate purpose.
So let's break these down one by one. According to this view, these 4 steps explain exactly why this prophecy was meant for our time and no other. The first reason is what it calls irrefutable proof. Think about it. In a world of smartphones and 24/7 news, everything gets recorded. This creates a permanent global record, which, in this view, makes the justification for what happens visible and undeniable to everybody. Second, the argument is all about exposing hypocrisy. It suggests that Western powers, who publicly champion ideals like human rights, will be seen by the world supporting actions that completely contradict those very same values. And the third point is super interesting. It's that the timing prevents the outcome from being dismissed as simple victor's justice. You know, if this had happened in an ancient era of conquest, it could just be written off. But because it happens now, under global scrutiny, it's instead framed as a publicly witnessed verdict for the entire world to see.
And this all builds to the final, and really the most important point of all. The ultimate goal here isn't just destruction, it's demonstration. It's a chance for the entire world to witness what this interpretation calls divine justice in action.
So in the end, this whole interpretation leaves us with a profound question that goes way beyond this one prophecy. It suggests that technology doesn't just shape our future, it actually reshapes how we understand our past. It gives us a brand new lens to find modern meanings hidden in ancient words.